Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Alex, the architect for Backfrap, and in today's video we will continue our data objects subseries inside our React Native and Parse series of videos. Today we'll be talking about dates, and depending on what you want to do with your dates, Parse already covers it. So every time you create a class in Parse, it already comes with two date columns already created and populated by Parse: updated at and created at. Created at is a timestamp for when the object was first created. So every time you create an object, the created at is set and is not changeable after that. And every time you update a object, the updated at will be once again updated. It's also first filled when you create the object and then re-updated every time you update that object. So if what you want to know is when you created or when you last updated an object, those two columns can serve this purpose and you don't have to worry about it. But for some use cases, you want to store a date yourself. So to do so, you can add a new column from here, choose the date type date, give it a good name. So let's call this due date, and add column, and my due date as a date showed up there. So I can now fulfill this property and it will store it for me. So how do we do that in the coding part of our JavaScript SDK, which is the one that we use for React Native? So here in my Visual Studio, I have our to-do list.js, where I'm going to start by declaring the class that I want to access by let to-do equals new parse.object, and then passing the class name as a string to-do. Then let my date equals a new date, so I'm getting the exact moment of the execution inside the device and setting it as a new date. Then to-do.set date, in this case it will be due date, comma, and my date, which is the value that we altered from here. And then we can have a try-catch block here, where we are going to try to await, because this is a synchronous call, to do.save, and if it works, we're going to alert successfully save it. And if something goes wrong, we're going to alert error, and then the error.message. So this is how you save a date inside our SDK for React Native. In here, you can set the date as a new date, like I did in here, or you can also have date operations. So for instance, if I want to add one day to this new date that I just recorded from the device, we will have to do my date.setDate, and then inside here, my date.getDate, plus the number of days that I want. So React Native will evaluate this whole code. So it will retrieve the date that got from the line 35, add one, and create a new date for it, and set a new date for that my date value. This will be all evaluated and saved for my due date property. And you might be wondering, all right, so if I'm getting the date from my device and the servers for Back4App is in another part of the world, which time zone it will be used? So if we go back here and we expand those dates, you'll notice that it will be always stored in UTC. And you might be wondering why that? It's because sometimes you have some operations being done on the front end and some operations being done on the back end, aka as in cloud code. So if we had the time zone from the front end in your current dates and time settings for your time zone, and the backend part running from the Back4App servers in whatever data center of Back4App you are, you would have data inconsistencies. So by default, Parse always save it as UTC, and it's your responsibility as a developer to set the conversion from your time zone to UTC to ensure it will always match the UTC time to be stored. So you can always ensure that your front end and backend dates are in the same format, and it will work correctly. So I hope you like this video and hope to see you on the next one of this series. See you soon. Bye bye.